RATCHETFREE. Yeah, I said it, ratchet free. If it's ratchet, you can have it, girl. I'm trying to stack my bands. I don't wanna date you or your little ratchet friend. I don't care if your head's tight. Is your head right? You stop and pop it at the red light. Get your head right. You drinking Henny out the bottle, smoking, drinking night. That is bad for your health, baby. Get your health right. If it's ghetto, then a fellow like me, I don't want it. I don't wanna do the nasty, girl. I'm trying to do some learning. Trying to show off with your clothes off. You can put them back on. If you're not here to study, you can go back home.
Greatness. What's going on, YouTube? It's Rochelle Tannen. It's January 22nd, 2023. It is about 12:15 a.m. I hope everyone's having a really good weekend. I decided not to work Uber Eats this weekend. So I wanted to jump on and do a quick video. And again, thank you to the new subscribers. I see you guys. Thank you so much. The clip at the beginning is a channel I just came across. Anthony Greatness Cotton. And let me start off by saying how impressed I am with this young man. He's doing a freestyle over Glorilla's FNF, which, sidebar, I like Glorilla just fine. I like FNF. I think Glorilla, when I listen to her interview, I think she's a very smart young lady. I know she's a very smart young lady. But I also like Anthony. Now, I'm watching these videos, and Anthony actually reminded me of my dad, and this is why I jumped on to do this video. Back in the 90s, my dad had once told me that black girls and young black women should want a husband like Steve Urkel or Carlton Banks. And it makes so much sense to me now as an adult woman. Now, I understand what black women, in my lifetime certainly, the drug dealer, the gang members, rappers, have been sold as the men we should want. But that could be further from the fucking truth. It's not real. It's not true. There's a video that Anthony did, and one of his lyrics stood out to me. He said, he has said to the young lady, I know you could twerk, but can you do math? And I found that to be so funny because a lot of our girls can twerk, but they can't read, write, or do math. And that's a direct failure on their mothers. You know, there's another YouTuber, I won't name her name, because she got me banned from commenting for a day saying I was cyberbullying her, which no, I wasn't. I was posting a different perspective. YouTube recommended her channel to me last summer, and I've been watching her. I think it's because we're both Leos that I can't stop watching her, and some of the shit she posts is so ridiculous I can't help but watch her. But she had said something, and usually I don't comment on her videos because if you go down her comments, everything's positive. Everything, the few she gets. But she pissed me off on one of her videos. She has said she brought her 6-year-old son to the dog park, and he started crying. He's one of them whining little boys because they have no dad there to tax that ass and get that whining up out of them. So a lady says to her, well, he may be too young to be at the dog park. So as she's recording, she's walking away and says, oh, she probably don't even have kids. She probably one of them women who parent the world. I take big offense to that because let me tell you something. This is just for black people. As much pressure as you all put on people to have kids so young, you all are in no position to talk about black people that don't have kids, male or female. Understand whether we have kids or don't have kids, because I don't have kids. Your kids still impact our lives and society at large. And we pay for most of these kids. Us black people with no kids, most of the time, we're the hard workers. Us black people with no kids, we don't collect taxes. We pay taxes. And before April 15th, I'll be paying taxes. I won't be collecting shit. I don't get the $10, $12, $15,000 broke woman's income tax checks like y'all are about to get in February and March. Hell, some of you at the end of this month, you're so scandalous and so trifling, you got to take out a loan because you're broke. So I digress. She really offended me because the same way these niggas don't want you talking about how lousy their parenting is, who are you to talk about someone you don't know, number one? And if she doesn't have kids, that doesn't negate the fact that the little boy was being disruptive at the park. Now, this same YouTuber, she has 3 sons. A 21-year-old, 18, and a 6-year-old. The 21-year-old just got out of fucking prison and she was excusing he ain't do it, this and that, and all that stuff. The 18-year-old is in college, but according to her, her second baby daddy went and took him from her. And I understand why. Now, the 6-year-old, his father is from Africa. He doesn't care about this kid. This kid's 6 years old, and if you hear him talk, he sounds like a 2-year-old. I can tell you he's remedial, and I'm not a teacher. She did a video where the teacher, because this young boy goes to private school, and he goes there on scholarship because this heifer can't afford private school tuition. I've been to private school. I know how expensive it is. So he's there on scholarship. So you should want him to do his best and be working with the teachers. The teacher, she did 2 videos about his teacher. On one video, she was like, oh, she's new and she don't know this and that and the third, which means nothing because a lot of people who go into education have to do almost a residency and things and classroom trainings to get their certification. So the young lady knows what the fuck she's talking about. But she says, if this woman says anything bad about my kid, this and that and the third, your children, Black people, are a direct reflection on you. She'd rather get mad at the teacher and get me banned off commenting than to address the fact that she's a lazy, lousy mother, like a good 80% of Black women. This is why your sons go to jail or get shot by 22. This is why your daughters a lot of them can't make it through high school without getting knocked up, and they can twerk but can't read or do math. This is why. Oh, and I'm going to be fair because, ladies, I know what you're thinking. Well, what about the father? What about the father? They're just as bad. If Philadelphia men are indicative to what our big cities are going through, we're fucking done. Because I know for a fact here in Philadelphia, a lot of these niggas, they care more about a big fake butt, how Black women suck wiener. They care more about that than they do as if, is this woman going to teach my children how to read and how to write and do math? But then again, a lot of Black men don't raise their kids. So who the fuck are we kidding? But I've been here in Philadelphia. I had an ex. We were talking about twerking and whatnot. This was when I was in my 30s. And I'm not comfortable with twerking. I had a dad. I don't even like super tight clothes and all that stuff. My dad and mom were real funny about us dressing modestly, you know? So I don't twerk. And I always looked at it as most of the women who twerk need attention. And the celebrities who twerk, usually they don't have talent. So they got to sing with their rear ends. But he was telling me, oh, well, women who twerk is this and that and the third. Then the conversation moved on about oral sex. And I asked him, forget if she can suck a wiener. Can she teach your kids how to fucking read? 2 other niggas I came across, not last summer, the summer before. One had 5 kids. One had 2 kids. The one with 2 kids isn't raising his sons. Okay. They had shown me a picture of some 40-year-old stripper out here in Philly. And I wasn't impressed for different reasons. So they tried to tell me I was jealous because this woman had a big fake titties, big butt, and all this other stuff. Let me tell you something. As sure as the days, as sure as the sun's gonna come behind the moon, I would never be jealous of a woman who has to teach stripper classes at 40 years old. Because you're still sliding down a pole. You're not, and this is no knock to those, those exotic dancers that are premier dancers at 40. They can go to Vegas and their name's on the marquee. You feel me? They can go to NYC down in Miami. Their name's on the marquee. That's a different kind of dancer. I ain't talking about her. Because that type of dancer, she knows how to read, write, and do math. She made just like a lot of money. And if she's a premier dancer, that means she put in a lot of hard work. But if you're 40 with a fake butt, fake titties, and still stripping and got to teach stripping classes, what's there to be jealous of? What's there to be jealous of? But that's how these niggas think out here. And when it comes to Black women and Black girls being well-read, well-spoken, mannerly, a lot of Black men will call you white or stuck up. I've been called white and stuck up. See, for a lot of Black men, in their way of thinking, all that stuff's only reserved for white women and Asian women. And this is why our girls can twerk, but cannot read or do math. This is why. refreshing for me to see some of these younger people saying some of the same thing I've been saying their whole lifetime. You know, when I was listening to Anthony, I said to myself, I'm glad these later 90s, Gen Z, they're getting older because y'all let me know I was every bit of Rochelle McFly that I always knew I was. Rochelle Tannen is my negative side, my evil side, but I'm Rochelle McFly all day. And I've been telling these stupid niggas for years, listen, your kids are a reflection of you, not nobody else. You, not their grandparents, not the teachers, not Beyonce, not no celebrity, you. And if celebrities have more credence in your kid's life than you do, you fucked up. See, when I was a little girl, I used to love watching my mother get ready for work. It was like an event. The woman she had, my mom used to have a vanity. It had all these perfumes on like a silver tray that my father bought her. It was a silver tray. It had a brush and a comb and whatnot. And my mother's clothes were always nice and pressed. And this is just going to work. Same thing with my dad. At one point in the time, back in the 80s, early 90s, you couldn't tell me my parents weren't the best people on the fucking planet. In my world, my mother was bigger than Janet Jackson. And I love me some Janet Jackson. But she didn't compare to my mom. And that's how all kids should feel about their parents. That's how all kids should feel about their parents. Your children are a reflection of you. So that means if they're dirty, that's because you let them be. That means if they have foul mouths, that's because you taught them. If they can't do appropriate work, like the lady I was telling you about, her kids in kindergarten can't count to 100, that's because of you. And I can prove it's a reflection on you because you niggas with kids, whenever someone critiques your parenting, you get upset. You'll want to fight. If your kids aren't a reflection of you, what do you want to fight for? You shouldn't want to fight nobody. But in their hearts, Black people know your kids are a reflection of you. And a lot of this tomfoolery that's went on in the last 60 years is just that tomfoolery. Black women, you rather teach your young girls that it's more important how big your butt is than what's in your fucking head. And I can prove that also. Years back in like 2012, 2013, when YouTube was less censored and World Star was real big, after the twerk team came out, and I know you guys witnessed this too. How many videos did you see of 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 10-year-olds twerking in groups and shit? Now, I bet you if I was around a good 90% of them young Black girls and put an algebra problem in front of them, they wouldn't be able to do it. They wouldn't be able to do it. And again, that's a reflection of their mother. As the great Chris Rock said in one of my favorite jokes, if the kid can't read, that's mom's fault. But if the lights aren't on and the kid can't see the book, that's dad's fault. A lot of you niggas have become trifling. And you should be ashamed of yourself, but you're not ashamed of yourself because Black women care more if their girl's hair is done, which being groomed is important, being well groomed, but not to the degree Black women take it to. They're more concerned what's on their daughter's head and how big her butt is. And a lot of Black people have forgot. Your kids do what they see, not what they're told. See, when that woman on YouTube got me blocked, my issue with women like her is, how the fuck have you been having kids since the late 90s and you ain't learned shit? None of your kids are on school level. None of them. But you know how to twerk. You know about Remy. You know about Brazilian. You know about long nails. You know about shit that does not count in the grand scheme of things. Because as Judge Judy says, beauty fades. Dumb is forever. And some of y'all are going to be foreverders. You already are. But for as much crying I hear Black people talk about, oh, well, my parents were on crack and this and that and the third, you guys have almost demolished these younger people. Now, I like to be fair. I understand down there in Gen Z and later millennials, some of you late 90s, early 2000 people, some of y'all are momos. Some of y'all are straight momos. because you don't know like you think you do. And a lot of your parents that are my age are fucking garbage. But I also acknowledge in Gen Z and younger millennials, much like myself, a first year millennial. I'm a Gen Xer millennial hybrid because I was born in 80. I can flow either way depending on who you ask. You got some thorough ass motherfuckers down there in late millennial and Gen Z too. And they see it. They see it amongst their peers, and they certainly see it with us older people. You got a bunch of niggas online talking about black women and how after 40, this and that and the third. My mom got killed at when she was 37 years old. In the grand scheme of life, you're on the younger side of life in your 40s. I understood that at 17, almost 17. No, a lot of you niggas got to date younger people because we know a lot of the men and the women. I know, I see it all the time. You motherfuckers are washed up. Washed up. A lot of you women can't date men your age because you ran through. You were doing all this wild sex and shit and wouldn't keep certain shit as a fantasy. So everyone that had you, for a lot of women my age, men and women have had you. Who else you gonna date but younger men? Same thing with the older men with the younger women. See, a lot of these younger women, they think they're getting a prize with some of these older men, but you're not, because they already got kids, they got bills, obligation, and us older women, we know they ain't shit. That's why they got to date kids. I've met men here that are dating women older than their oldest daughter. And this is why our girls can twerk, but can't do math or read. And on that note, guys, I am not hating on Anthony Cotton, the greatness. You guys should go check him out. Really talented young man. And I'm not even hating on the woman who got me banned commenting. I won't even mention your name because you've been posting for years. You got 479 videos with 460 subscribers. So why even address you? But on that note, I'm out, guys. You have a really good weekend.